Hi, welcome to Foxy Moe. This is a vlog about all of the misadventures of my daughter, Mosley, her life and our life. What makes Mosley special is a lot of things. She is possibly the cutest kid ever, besides my other children, who are also probably the cutest kids ever. But she is our first, and she has a rare condition called FOXG1 syndrome. There are about just under 300 cases in the world of FOXG1 syndrome, and I'm not sure how many of that are in the United States, but I'm just now kind of meeting new moms and new dads of FOXG1 children. It presents itself a lot like Rett syndrome, which is it's like a sister syndrome, but Rett is primarily in females. So, but she has FOXG1, which is a little bit more rare. Um, but what FOXG1 is it's just like its name. It's uses the FOXG1 gene, and the FOXG1 gene provides instructions for making protein called foxhead boxG1. The protein plays an important role in brain development and the particular region of the embryonic brain known as the telenocyphlon ultimately develops into several critical structures, including the largest part of the brain, the cerebrum, which contains most voluntary active language sensory perception, learning, and memory. Oh my gosh, I am not a doctor, obviously. So after reading that, I'm going to need like 12 naps. But anyway, she has FOXG1. We have not had our big genetics appointment yet, which hopefully you'll be along with us when I go for that genetics appointment, which is in the end of this month, which is exciting. But anyway, just wanted to start with letting you guys know how we met Mosley, which we met her on the day she was born, obviously, because she was born to us. But she is our firstborn. We found out we were pregnant with Mosley when Alec and I had been married 6 months. We were shocked and obviously a little overwhelmed. Not just because we were having a brand new baby, but because we had been told we weren't going to have children. So that was kind of in our wheelhouse that okay, it's going to be really hard for me to get pregnant for extenuating circumstances. I had Lyme disease and epilepsy, so I was on a pill called Depakote at the time. So there's a lot of tests that went in when I was pregnant. A lot of like Euro testing, like how big was her brain and how was she, and everything came up just positive that she was just great and perfect, healthy little baby girl. She was born in September, and we moved in with my husband's parents and lived there for, I think, just over a year. But in that year, we kind of noticed she wasn't tracking the way that she should have. She wasn't acknowledging me. She wasn't tracking anybody when they would walk into a room. She wasn't sitting up. She wasn't grasping things. She wasn't lifting her head up. So we were kind of like, okay, something's not right. Something's not normal. So we just thought, okay, well, maybe it's because she's blind. So we took her to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor said, you're right, she's blind. So we got her glasses, and still, things did not improve. She did do a little bit more of looking at things and being more interested in certain things because she noticed she could see them. But that was not much else changed. My sister, God bless her, was very brave and came up to me and said, look, something's not right. Your pediatrician is not doing a good job, and something is wrong. And I think that we need to find a new doctor. And of course, in my head, I thought, oh my gosh, something's wrong with my baby. I didn't go into that place where I thought, okay, she's crazy, everything's fine with my baby, and I didn't go into a denial place. I went straight into the proactive place, which I'm really thankful that I did, because I wouldn't have moved so fast. So I went into the new pediatrician, and the new pediatrician, within seconds of looking at her and looking over her, said, look, something's not right. She needs an MRI, she needs a CAT scan, she needs an EEG. We got all of those things done, and they diagnosed her with microcephaly, which is basically just small. She has a small brain. She also had lithocephaly, which is where she didn't have wrinkles in her brain, which is where we hold a lot of our perception and our learning and our memory and stuff like that. She didn't have those wrinkles. So, and all of that can be caused by the birth defects of Depakote, which was the pill that I was on. So, of course, I went into, okay, this is my fault. Obviously, I didn't know I was pregnant. Obviously, I stopped as soon as I found out I was pregnant, taking those pills, even though I had seizures. But I still quit taking those pills, and I still blame myself. I lived with crushing guilt for about 2 years until we moved to Ocala, which is where we live now. And I saw a new neurologist, a new geneticist, and a new neurologist. And the neurologist said, look, I do know that this can cause these symptoms, but I think that there's something more. I think that we've missed something and we need to go back. I think you need to see a geneticist and we need to explore other options that Moseley might have. And Moseley was about 3.5 at the time, and we went to go see the geneticist, which was we were on a waiting list to see him for a year. That's how good this geneticist is. One poor sucker decided not to come to his appointment, so we packed up Moseley and jetted out there. But anyway, Dr. Williams was an amazing geneticist, and we went to go see him, and he sat us down and he said, this is not caused by Depakote. Children and mothers constantly are put on Depakote. Obviously, it's not the safest option, but they are put on Depakote, and there's no way that had this drastic of a impact on her brain. So he was like, let's do testing. But my educated guess of him working in genetics for 40 some odd years was Rett syndrome. And so we were like, okay, she has Rett syndrome. And then we went and got testing, and they're like, yeah, she has Rett syndrome. But we want to make a more further test and see if she has this syndrome, which is a sister diagnosis, a sister syndrome to Rett syndrome, which is called FOXG1. And at the time, her physical therapist was like, hey, you've got to meet this other little girl. They act just alike, and they have the same aspects of like how they kind of work. So I was like, okay, I'll meet her. And I called this girl up really creepily, and I was like, hi, I'm Allie, and I know Janet, and could you come hang out when you want to have like a play date? And Moseley got to meet her little friend. And at that time, that family was going through the same thing that we would later go through, which was find out that she had Rett syndrome and FOXG1. And they were going through it right then. And she got diagnosed with FOXG1. And I remember her telling me that her little girl, Obs, had FOXG1, and her just being devastated and hurt. And I just kept thinking, this is so crazy and rare. There's no way that anybody else, like the closest person to this woman that I knew who had FOXG1, I think was in Alabama. And then the next one was like way up north, somewhere like Minnesota or Michigan. And I think it was Michigan. But anyway, so she was very like alone, and I kept thinking, gosh, what would it feel like to be so isolated in your daughter's disability? So I tried to love her as well as I could, and then, she kept going, there's no way that Mosley has this disorder because it's so rare, and there's no way that it's going to be in the same town. It wasn't even in the same state, much less the same town. Turns out Mosley has the exact same condition as Obbs does, and we live about 20 minutes apart, and which is insane. She has been my lifeline, and so grateful for that, for the community. But anyway, we got that diagnosis in probably about the end of June. I had just had my son. He is 3 months now. He's just a tiny, tiny baby. And I had just gotten my diagnosis. And honestly, I'm so relieved that I have the diagnosis, but it makes me really angry. My daughter has a 1 in tens of millions % chance of getting, I don't know the exact percentage, of getting a syndrome, and she has it. And there's nothing I could have done to stop it. There's nothing I could do to reverse it. And as a mother, that is so frustrating. That is exhausting, an emotional and mental weight and load that you have on yourself when your child has any sort of physical impairment or syndrome or disability. You have more mental weight than a typical child. Not to say that a mother with a typical child isn't exhausted, because believe me, no matter what your child is like, you're going to be exhausted. But I just kind of remember getting the diagnosis and feeling more weight put on me, more stress and more anger that my little girl has to go through this. That, it's just such a rare experience, and not a lot of people know what it's about. So that made me think, okay, what would I want? What I would want to know what other moms are feeling and thinking, what other dads are feeling and thinking. I would want to know, okay, I might be going a few steps behind this woman, or this person, but I really, really want to follow their story. I really want to know how to approach the new things, like Mosley's getting her G-tube in, and I would really love to watch not like a medical video of how it actually processed, but what is the weight like on a family? How does that impact a family? And so I was thinking, how do I branch out and do that? And this is the technological age. This is the only way I thought of doing that. So hopefully I will be able to answer all your questions and give a good glimpse on what it's like to care for a special needs child, and the joy and the tears and the moments where you're just like, I'm excited to show those moments to you. I'm excited to share those moments with the world. Just really reach out and love on other families like mine, so that other families with typical children can realize, hey, this is not your community and it's my community. It's all together. We do it all together, and that your child who might be typical and my child who's special needs still can come together, and our families can come together. And I really hope that this vlog and this experience leads to that. As far as what's next with our family, we have a big surgery coming up on the 30th where she gets her G-tube in. And we've had the first general appointment. When they said that they wanted her to have the G-tube, which we have been fighting against. We've been, give me the other option, give me the other option. And we've reached to the point where there are no other options. She's refusing to eat. She's refusing to drink, and she's refusing to take her meds. So that means it's time to get the G-tube. I have read extensively and talked to other moms, and they've all said it's changed their life. So I'm just so excited to have you guys walk beside me on that. So more to come. Hopefully every 2 weeks. I wanted to say every week, but I have 3 kids and I am need a little bit of time there. I just, sit on the couch and drink wine and watch TV and not worry about my YouTube video. So, but I'm going to try to be consistent with this. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to any questions, even if you're afraid that, oh, this is gonna offend her or offend her daughter, please just ask. I have a pretty thick skin and I'm pretty tough, so I'd rather have your questions answered than, you know, them not answered or you having speculations that aren't true. But I look forward to everything that is going to be on this channel. So our next story is about Mosley's G-tube. So enjoy! Thanks again.